we find that Article 106, Subarticle 6 of the Constitution does not create a third term. Final orders. Our combined interpretation, therefore, of Sections 2 and 7 of the Act and the repealed Article 35 of the Constitution is that the first respondent's term of office, that ran from 25th January 2015 to 13th September 2016, constituted a term of office. The first respondent's term, which ran from 13th September 2016 to August 2021, constituted his second term. The first respondent, Mr. Edgar Lungu, has therefore been twice elected and has twice held office. Article 106(3) of the Constitution makes the first respondent ineligible to participate in any future elections as a presidential candidate.
Thank you very much, countrymen and women and the youth of our country. Today, Tuesday, the 10th of December 2024, the long and much awaited for presidential eligibility judgment, as you all know, has been delivered by the Constitutional Court of Zambia. As government, we want to take this opportunity, firstly, to thank the citizens of our country and those stakeholders in the governance of our country for you and their patience and count before, during, and now, after delivery of this historic and landmark judgments. We take special recognition, notice, and appreciation to the judiciary, particularly the Constitutional Court, for rendering this judgment. We further note the sobriety and simplicity with which this landmark judgment has been rendered for the ease of the citizens and all interested to follow and understand, notwithstanding that the whole language was couched in legal terms. We believe those many who followed have understood the gist of the judgment. And as government, and a government of laws, therefore, we welcome and respect this judgment as delivered. It has put to rest a plaguing and nagging national debate which has consumed national attention, including international attention, for the last 3 years or so. We believe that this judgment now brings clarity and certainty to the law and promotes the predictability of law and ends years of active speculation by many citizens and active arguments by lawyers, even when reasonably expected so. All well-meaning lawyers knew that the law had only one side on this matter. save those who had other exterior interests to serve, we believe, than that of respecting the rule of law and ensure that justice in our country remains to be the pinnacle and hallmark of our governance. As government, we believe that the rule of law is being restored in our country, and also not just restored, but now respected. Respect for the rule of law is a cornerstone for political, economic, and national security, stability. That the judgment in itself is anchored on the law and no other considerations or persuasions. That is to say, former President Edgar Lungu has not been barred or blocked from contesting 2026 general elections or any other beyond. Rather, it is the fact that he is ineligible and does not qualify. I would like to clarify that this judgment was not about blocking former President Lungu. It was not about barring him contesting future elections. It was about resolving the question of eligibility, to which it was his eligibility, and the courts have pronounced themselves. Therefore, assertions that President Hakainde Hichilema, State House, or any other government functionary has had a hand in this judgment have got no merit or basis whatsoever. They are and must be treated as such to be mere political rhetoric, and all well-meaning Zambians and beyond should dismiss such kind of assertions with the deserving contempt. Clearly today, even those who were arguing that former President Lungu was eligible, them being lawyers, if you look them in the eyes, you only get one reaction, that the court has done justice, and not just doing justice, but that justice has been seen to be done. Therefore, going forward, our country now needs to move from this dark chapter of perceived manipulation of the law for political expedience, as we have seen before or previously, or violation of the law with impunity persuaded by any stimuli, be it to include power of incumbency, now going forward has no place. The country will recall that in the last 10 years or so, we have had a number of plaguing and nagging national questions on the idea of violating the national constitution and other laws. We do believe that this judgment serves as a reminder to all who are given the privilege to occupy public office that the law remains what it is, and it will hold all accountable, because the law is supreme. And this judgment has also shown that we are all equal before the law, and that the judiciary itself has acquitted and made itself accountable to the law, to itself and to the citizens, by delivering a judgment we believe is firmly anchored on the law. I must extend here that this is how it should have been, in fact, with the court of first instance. We are firm believers as UPND government that even under extreme circumstances for which we are not prepared to indulge ourselves in, that those in office attempt to manipulate the judiciary itself should not manipulate the law, because that is the anchor of hope for all the citizens, that we shall continue to be governed in an orderly and predictable and just way. It is now time to bury the hatchet and remember also that in 2016 we had a very interesting national constitutional question which related to ministers of the previous administration under the former president being led to continue to occupy their ministerial offices and carrying out governmental functions using state resources erroneously. The court once more pronounced itself. So these examples of violating the law should not become the order of the day. That is why the government led by President Hakainde Hichilema is steadfast on ensuring that the rule of law prevails in this country, regardless who the victim, regardless who the complainant, regardless who the respondent, regardless who the applicant, regardless who the interested party in those particular proceedings is. And to that extent, President Hakainde Hichilema has reiterated his firm commitment and desire to apply the law fairly, without fear, and that the ultimate goal is to attain social justice for our people, and that is what accounts for the electoral mandate for which this government is in office. It is now time for the former President Edgar Lungu, to take up and assume his rightful space and place as a statesman. I also wish to add here that this judgment, in our view, is not meant to bar the former president from continuing to participate in the politics of his country, our country, because that is his constitutional and democratic right so to do. save for where the law says if he wishes to take up active politics, meaning taking up an elective position within the realm of his political party, then that is where we talk about issues of benefits of a former president. And I have had to allude to this matter because I keep on receiving calls of concern, particularly from my colleagues in the media, especially the international media, some of whom still contend or perceive that the former president has been deprived of his former president's benefits. No one has done so. It is by operation of law. And so, that is it for today. We once more acknowledge the veracity of the law that today the judiciary, particularly the Concord, has acquitted itself and made itself accountable to itself, to the citizens, and most importantly, to the law, because the law is supreme. We hold the view that this judgment has been arrived at, and we have listened to it carefully after diligent and thorough research to ensure that the nation gives finality and closure to this kind of debate, and that going forward, no one who has been elected and served as president twice, after his or her time is over, should think of manipulating the judiciary in an attempt to manipulate the law so that they may continue to stay in office, or that they may vie for a term for which they are ineligible. For us in government, this is a lesson that the law, in its motion, may move slowly, but it finally gets to be done. One therefore, to take this opportunity to urge all our citizens that in the wake of this judgment, they remain calm and optimistic that their country will continue to be governed with peace and order on the basis of the rule of law. Going forward, therefore, President HH and his administration's core attention and function is to work in promoting the economic recovery of our country, which is already in motion, towards stability, to ensure that we rescue our people from the doldrums of poverty and unemployment. The President Hakainde, is optimistic that even in the midst of this drought and national disaster and emergency, the governmental measures that have been put in place to mitigate and ameliorate for the sufferings of our people have and continue to yield tangible positive results. The Cash for Work program, emergency social cash transfer, the social cash transfer itself, community maize sales by FRA, affordable milling meal by ZNS and its allied millers, and other interventions, such as the Green Park that the government has put in place to empower families to do wetland farming, even during drought for those areas where they have water, to respond to the national drought, are issues that have made the lives of our people better than if those measures were not in place. And therefore, I would like, on behalf of government, to assure the nation that peace and unity shall continue to prevail in this country as we look forward to what we believe will be a very active 2025, which comes as an advent year to a very important general election of 2026. Now remains for me, therefore, to wish all our citizens and our motherland Zambia a very happy Christmas and a very joyous New Year, and that during this period of festivity, we encourage our citizens to use it as a moment to reflect upon the grace of God that has befallen this country for the whole year, that we are now coming to the end of it, and thank God for giving each one of us life and peace in our country. Let us indulge responsibly, knowing very well that once the festivities are over, President HH will be back with his message of work, work, and work, working hard to turn around the fortunes of our country for better. I thank you, dear colleagues, and good day, countrymen and women.